Hey everybody, happy Monday night. Hope everyone had a great weekend, had a nice Father's Day, and was able to get some games on the table. So, as always, with my live shows, if you have any questions you'd like answered on the show, be sure to drop them in the chat window, and I'll be sure to get to them before the show is over. Usually these run about half an hour, and we usually have a pretty good lively discussion while these are going on. So everybody that's been following the channel knows that my current project I have going on right now is a really great double elimination tournament featuring all 24 teams currently available for History Maker Baseball's all-time franchise great sets. And I'm into the fourth round of games. I just finished a game tonight that was really exciting. So I've added a few teams to the graveyard now. We've had a few teams that have been knocked out in the losers bracket. So everybody that's a Milwaukee fan, I have some wonderful news for you. So here's where the bracket stands right now. So here's the winners bracket. So right now we only have 4 teams left in the winners bracket. Boston will be taking on Kansas City next. Chicago from the American League will be taking on Houston. And now in the losers bracket, next up we'll have Atlanta taking on New York from the National League, St. Louis taking on Texas, the Chicago from the National League taking on San Diego, and then Oakland will be taking on Milwaukee. And so the game that I just played out tonight was Milwaukee traveling down to DC to play the Washington team, and they had Higuera on the mound. And so just one of the wonderful things about this game is that sometimes when you have a card that it doesn't look like it's anything super spectacular, it can sometimes surprise you. And so this was definitely one here. So Teddy Higuera from his 1986 season. See, he was a semi-ace with flash and control. He was a semi-prospect. So that year he went 20-11 with a 2.79 ERA. But tonight in my tournament, he just chopped down the Washington team and threw a complete game shutout. And I forgot to fill in the hits there. But so he had 5 hits, no runs, 1 walk, and 12 Ks. And so this was probably the most dominant pitching performance I think I've seen on the table yet in this tournament. Duck Gooden in the first round had a complete game shutout. I think he maybe gave up less hits, but he didn't have that many strikeouts. So this was just at no point did it seem like he was in trouble, and just really put on a pitching gem. And his teammates definitely backed him up. Robin Yount had a night to remember. He had 2 home runs and a double. Who didn't have a home run? Ogilvy had 2 home runs. Sixto Lascanzo had a homer and a double. And who else? And Gomez had a home run. He went 4 for 5 on the night and was just double shy of hitting for the cycle. So shout out to all my Milwaukee area friends, and glad to see your team advancing to the next round. And they are actually going to be home taking on the Oakland team in the next round. Let's see. So we got our first comment. Glenn Peru is in the chat room. Hi, Glenn. You just got your more World Series sets. All right. Yes. Anybody that hasn't seen those sets yet, those are really great. There's actually 2 different sets of World Series matchups available that you can download or that you can purchase from the play.com website, and they are definitely a lot of fun. Let's see. So yeah, anybody have any tournaments going on their tabletop, or have you ever done one before? I'd be interested to see what your um, experience has been with those. This is the first time I've done anything like this, having a tournament, and it's been a lot of fun. And I'm actually already thinking about what I can do for my next tournament. What game I could use, what sport I could use. Maybe I'll do a basketball tournament for my next project. Let's see. So, oh, and speaking of interesting projects, I wanted to mention really quick before I forgot about it. There was well, let's see, where is it? There was a great video that was just put up today over on the Base View, and a full game playthrough using 5 different games. And so what he did is he set up a game from last year between Boston and New York, and he played through 2 innings with replay baseball. Then he did 2 innings with Status Pro, 2 innings with History Maker, then payoff pitch baseball, and then ended up at Stratomatic. So the video is actually over 3 hours long. I haven't got to watch the whole thing yet, but I know that the last live show I had, somebody was asking about doing a multi-game playthrough. And, oh, what did I just do here? Oh, there we go. Okay. And so that's definitely something I might have to steal that idea from David of playing through one baseball game and then using multiple game engines to play through that game and then put it together. So David, well done on that. That's definitely going to be a big help to a lot of people that have that are wondering about the different games. Oh, and I guess I could show you guys where it is. Let me switch to my desktop. And so here's the game here. And it's on Baseball Demos is the YouTube channel. It's 5 board games reviewed playing Boston Red Sox at the New York Yankees from last April. And the reason that he picked that game is it was a 19-inning game in real life with the Red Sox finally coming out on top. And so one of the more interesting games from the early part of last season. Oh, all right. Let's see. Is there any? Oh, let me get my comments back up. There we go. All right. Okay. Let's see. All right. John McGinnis is in the chat room. John, welcome. And he says he's buying History Maker Baseball tonight with the Century League set. Well, I'm always happy to hear somebody picking up History Maker Baseball. It's a really fantastic game, lots of fun, super easy to get on your table and play out, and also to show other people how to play. And that Century League set is definitely an interesting one. So let us know how that goes, John. If are you gonna set up a full season to play out? Are you gonna combine it with any other sets when you get through? Definitely let us know and keep us up to date what's going on. Let's see. Oh, and Glenn just left a comment about those the World Series sets that are available. They even come with the umpires who actually worked those World Series. So another great aspect of History Maker Baseball is you get the real umpires with all their foibles and whatnot. So definitely for everybody, somebody looking for something new to pick up. If you played other baseball games before, HMB definitely might be something to throw into your mix. Let's see, we got Mark Russell in the chat room. He says still thinking about HMB. It's in the middle projects with replay, Stratomatic, and status. Yes, and then he said there's too many games and not enough time. That's definitely always an issue. Is if we just had unlimited time during the day, we could play out so many more projects and play out so many more games. Let's see. Yeah, Glenn agrees. Definitely a problem. So I wanted to jump into some questions, and I'm curious if anybody got to play any games over Father's Day, either with their father or with their kids. For myself, I got to play a game of bottom of the ninth with my oldest daughter, and um, this is another great game to try to pick up if you guys haven't yet. A nice little quick filler game, takes about 10-15 minutes to play out. Really good quality and a lot of fun. Just something a little different to do from a full stat based game. And especially if you have kids, I can't tell you how much my kids love playing this game, and they'll even play it with each other. I have a 6-year-old and a 2-year-old, and so I'll help them out playing, but they get a kick out of playing each other, and just a lot of fun. So I definitely, I think at least once a week for the last couple months, I've gotten to play a game of that with my kids. Let's see. Kevin Kilpatrick is in the chat room. Kevin, welcome. And he says he's doing a 1991 season with Payoff Pitch. All right, 1991, great season. Really fantastic World Series. That'll be interesting. Let us know, Kevin, are you doing a full season playthrough, or are you just playing through with one team in that? Let's see. Glenn Peru says, I used to just have Strat and that, but now I have 8 baseball games. Yes, that's definitely, it's a good problem to have too many options available. So depending on what you're looking for, there's definitely going to be a game out there, well, most likely, that will suit your needs, especially in the baseball world. It seems like that's a very popular sport to have on a tabletop, and a lot of different ways to represent it. Let's see. All right. Glenn just said that me and Al Wilson and David with his YouTube channel aren't helping with the multiple game disorders. One of the big reasons I started this channel was to showcase games that I thought that people might otherwise miss, and just from my own background, I didn't discover these tabletop baseball games or sports games until about 10 years ago, and I randomly stumbled upon Replay Baseball. And so that was a big part of starting this channel. I wanted to make sure that people were able to find these games and give them a shot, and especially if it's a game that they might really enjoy, and get on their table. So if I've helped anybody find a game that they've really enjoyed, then I feel like I've, all the work on the channel has been worth it. Let's see, John says he owns about 6 different games, 6 different baseball games, over 20 sports games. Wow. And he's been loving Baseball Highlights 2045 and Bottom of the Ninth. Oh, great to hear, John. Yes, Baseball Highlights is another great game. I don't get on the table as much as I'd like to, but that's a game that's fantastic, both as a solo game and head-to-head. I've had a lot of fun playing that head-to-head when I've had the chance. And let's see, what was it? And Baseball Highlights also has a really good app available on the Apple App Store. That's a really good interpretation of the board game. So if you're on the road and don't have the room to pack that game, the app version is a good substitute for it. Let's see. Got a lot of comments coming in here. Let's see. Oh, Glenn's just talking about paying more money every time he thinks that that's it. Then out comes PayPal. Yes, PayPal is a blessing and a curse. It makes it way too easy to purchase things online. Let's see. Mark Russell saying that he also plays war games because of Al Wilson. Yeah, I thought that was a really great idea for Al Wilson over on his Hands on Games channel to cover war games, because I feel like there's definitely a lot of crossover in interest between people that like to play baseball games and then people who like to play war games. It'd be kind of interesting. I'd like to see some of the bigger companies that put out war games try to produce a sports game, because I think that they would find a lot of their audience would jump on a baseball game or a hockey game, for instance. Let's see. Thank you guys for all the comments tonight. This has been great. One of the reasons I love doing this live Monday night show is it's a great way to interact with my audience, and love hearing all of your thoughts. So thank you everybody that's in tonight and leaving comments. Where are we at? Glenn says that he can do without some of the Boston stuff. Oh, okay. Well, sorry, Glenn. They make good wall covers here in the back, and I've been in the Boston area now for over 10 years, so I'm fully ingrained, and I fully endorse all the Boston area teams. Let's see. Kevin says that my review of Hockey Blast, coming to buy the game. Excellent. That's another game that if I had unlimited time that I would get out onto my table more often. The new game boards that Al Wilson designed for that got me to get back into the game late last year. So I'm definitely going to try to get that onto my table at some point. Maybe do another live playthrough. Let's see. John saying that. Oh, he likes war games as well. Okay. And another Hockey Blast purchase. Oh, all right. Excellent, guys. Thank you. That's really good edification for what I've been doing here on the channel, and always glad to hear people picking up a new game. All right. So let's see. So for anybody that caught my... Glenn just said that he's a New Yorker, so he does Yankees and Mets replays. So I been a fan of enough teams over the years. So my philosophy is, you get somewhere, you find a home team, and you root for them with everything you got. So what was it? Oh, so on my special Thursday night show celebrating getting 1,000 subscribers, I gave everybody there a sneak peek at the next contest giveaway. And so I'm going to do the same thing tonight. I'm actually going to officially start the contest tomorrow on the news. And I'm going to have a question of the week segment on there where people will be able to reply to officially enter the contest. But for everybody who is in the chat room tonight, you'll get a bonus entry into the contest. And everybody that was on the chat room on Thursday also got a bonus entry. And it's going to be, I'm giving away my old copy of second season as it was produced by Replay Games. So anybody who doesn't know, there was a few years where Keith Avalone gave the rights over to Replay Games to publish his football game. And they did a few innovations to the game, but the biggest thing was this stand-up chart book. And so this has become somewhat of a collector's item. People really like this chart. This was the version of the game that I originally started playing, that I've really enjoyed. But now with the latest game book that's come out, I found that this has just been sitting on my shelf, and so I wanted to use this opportunity of breaking the 1,000 subscriber mark to give this away as a way of saying thank you to all of the fans of the channel. So if you are watching the show here before 9 o'clock tonight here when the show goes off the air, just leave a comment in the chat box and I'll write everyone's name down and you will get a bonus entry into that contest. So tomorrow night I'll have a question of the week on the new show, and then you can leave a comment there to get another entry. And that contest is actually going to run for 2 weeks because the end of this week, my family and I are going on vacation, so I won't be putting up a show next week. And so when I come back, I think that's going to be, I want to say, like right before the 4th of July. We'll have that giveaway, so someone will be receiving that second season for the right before the holidays, the big holidays. All right, so you catch up on the comments here. And Glenn saying he's going to be at the New Jersey get together, the Fall Classic pre-play. Glenn, I'm definitely going to try to be there. I've actually been to the last two of those, the last 2 years. The last year was in Milwaukee, which was a fantastic time. The year before that, it was right here in my backyard, just a few miles down the road from me, so in Plainville. So I will definitely try to get to the New Jersey Fall Classic pre-play this year in September, and I'll look for you there. Let's see. So the David from Baseball Demos is in the chat room. He's saying that Keith could make a great war game using the History Maker baseball engine. Maybe, yeah. And perhaps if Keith made a war game, it might expand his audience, and then people would be able to, then discover the rest of his catalog. Let's see. And then another the Soccer Blast video I did got John McGinnis to buy the games. Glad to hear that, John. That was a fun game, and again, another game that I would have on my table if I had more time. Let's see. Mark Russell is asking, does the 1990 set for History Maker Baseball provide enough player cards to do an as-played replay? Let's see. So I do have the 1990 set, and I believe each team comes with, I want to say, 24 or 25 players, and then you can get a set of extra players. You can either buy the printed versions, or you can actually download them for free, and that adds, I think, 4 or 5, 6 other players per team. So you can pretty easily do an as played if there were players that just came up for a cup of coffee and only had like less than 20 at bats or so. They might not have a card, but one of the nice things about History Maker Baseball is how easy it is to create your own player cards. There's a how-to guide that you can buy for the game. It's just I think $6 to get it, and it shows you step by step how you can recreate a player based on what their stats were. And then there are some great free downloads on the play.com page where you can download card makers that are Excel files, and then you can just go through and make those cards if you're interested in doing an as played lineup. And perhaps if you had a team that was shuffling players back and forth between their AAA team and the majors, there might be a few players here and there that aren't officially carded. But I would assume that it's pretty close, and actually maybe David can chime in. He's doing a 1987 season replay with the Atlanta Braves. I think he's 8 or 9 games into that season right now, so you can let us know if he's had any issues so far with players that don't have an official card and that he's had to create. Let's see. Another Glenn saying that my playthrough of Replay clinched this purchase. Excellent. So Replay Baseball is always going to have a special place on my game shelf because that's the game that got me into sports, and without me accidentally stumbling across the Replay website a few years ago, then none of us would be sitting here right now on the AFR channel. So I'll always have nothing but good things to say about Replay. They make a really great quality product, and Pete Ventura's customer service is really second to none. Yes, Glenn, so make sure your PayPal account is up to date for some more purchases. So, all right, guys, we got a few more minutes here. So again, anybody joining late, if you just want to leave a comment here, you'll get a bonus entry into the latest contest giveaway for the Replay Games version of second season football, which the contest will officially start tomorrow night, but everyone here on my live show will get a bonus entry into that contest. Let's see. Oh, yes. So David from Baseball Demos just chimed in and about creating the players, and that the $6 investment for the how-to guide is definitely worth the investment. Especially if you're doing an as-played season, you have a couple of players that you really want to have on your team, and you don't want to put in a substitute player. So, all right. Well, guys, thank you so much this has been a really great question and answer here on the show tonight. I'm glad I got to share my thoughts with you, and I seem to have a lot of my technical hiccups in order here. So being able to add in the second camera angle, and remembering to switch off microphones from other things. And when I did my show Thursday, I accidentally, when I would switch to my second camera, I was actually getting audio from both this camera and from my webcam. So somebody fortunately chimed in and let me know about that. So, all right. So let's see. It looks like any last questions? So, all right, guys. Well, I think we're gonna wrap things up. Thank you again, and be sure to tune in for the news tomorrow night. I should have it up probably about this time tomorrow. And make sure you leave a comment for the question of the week to get another entry into that contest. And then I'm gonna try to do a show on Thursday night. So I'm gonna do another live show on Thursday evening, and I'm actually going to be doing a review of the Stratomatic Daily online game. So anybody that hasn't seen that, Stratomatic just started at the beginning of this baseball season. They have a website you can go to, and it's similar to doing a fantasy baseball, except that you're using the current players as they're playing. So they have this game engine that generates a card for a player based on how they're performing up to that point in the season, and then you get to base your team, and basically everything you do in a fantasy baseball league you get to do in this, except that you're using the Stratomatic game engine. So I'm going to be doing just a quick overview of all the highlights and features. And I'll also be starting my second team on a league, so you get to see how everything goes right from the beginning, where you do the draft, and then I'll show you from my first team that I did what the highlights of the game look like, and all the different ways that you can review the games. So that should be a lot of fun, and looking forward to doing my first live review of a game. So that's going to go up Thursday night. I'll set a definite time, and I'll talk about it tomorrow on the news, but it'll probably be around the same time, about 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursday night. So, all right, everybody. Well, have a good evening. Again, thanks for the lively chat. This has been fantastic. I'll look forward to this in 2 weeks. There will be no live show next week, no news next week because I'm on vacation. So in 2 weeks from tonight, I'll see you right back here live on the table. Until then, thanks for stopping by. My name is Steve. Get out there, have fun, play games, and I'll see you after further review. Have a good one, guys.